Awaken your dreams. So as you can imagine, Darcy and I feel extremely grateful and very blessed to be on this path of awakening our dreams with the Grateful Goddess. And in doing so, we were talking about all of the incredible women in this community that are also somewhere on their path, whether they are just seeking, or they're in the midst of creating, or they have achieved their goals or their dreams. We thought, wouldn't it be fun to get together tonight and actually talk about that so that we can all learn from it and that it would help all of us on our journey. So that's what we're going to do. And to start, we'll introduce myself. I'm Sheila, and this is Darcy Simonson. And together, we created the Grateful Goddess. And the Grateful Goddess's mission is to raise the consciousness of joyful living. And the business in its current state has gatherings like the one you are at tonight, which we do on a monthly basis. We also conduct workshops on gratitude and vision boards and a few other things like that. More information about that is available online at thegratefulgoddess.com. We have Goddess Gifts, which you can purchase over in the wine cellar, as a matter of fact, this evening, but also available for purchase online. And we have just birthed something new, and it is our online social network and our club membership. It's a club membership site. And so we're really excited about that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But basically, it was the whole idea of the energy that we get from these particular gatherings. We wanted to be able to offer that on a daily basis. We just kept getting all this feedback that this is great, but sometimes, right, Ginger? Ginger's feedback in terms of, could we do this? Could we tap into this kind of energy more frequently? So we'll talk more about the club membership in just a bit, but I thought it might be fun to step back and let you know how we got to where we are today and what we've been able to accomplish, and then also what our vision and dream is for the future. So in terms of how it got started, from my perspective, my personal story is it started for me with being dissatisfied. And I wasn't always dissatisfied, but in fact, most of my life I've been an extremely happy person. But at that particular point in my life, I was just not satisfied with where things were. And I was an advertising manager, an account manager with an advertising agency for 20-some years. And for 15 of those years, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's a very creative business. It's exciting. I loved the people I was working with, loved the clients usually. It was very fun. But somewhere along the line, it was no longer serving me. And for those of you who have attended like vision board workshops or any of our other talks, we're talking about, I was sort of in a victim mentality mode at that point. I was dissatisfied, and on top of my dissatisfaction, I thought I was stuck where I was. I was divorced, I had kids to raise, I thought I didn't have a choice in my life, that I had to stick with what I was doing because that was the best way to support my children. And so you know that when you're in that victim mentality mode, you're vibrating at a very low level, and how can you create something new and fabulous if you're down there? So as it turns out, as you know from our previous talks, the way to overcome being in that low vibration is by incorporating gratitude into your life. And when you incorporate gratitude for where you are and for all you've done and for who you are today, then you're able to open up and to start seeing some joy. And when you get to the level of really being in the level of joy with your life, that's when you can really create something fabulous. So that's what happened to me. I went to Italy. I went to Italy with 5 girlfriends, some of which are in the room. And that was spectacular. It was being with your girlfriends, drinking wine, beautiful scenery, and I'm talking really nice scenery. And we were having the time of our life. And what we noticed when we were having the time of our life is that other women were drawn to us. They really wanted to be a part of what we were doing. And it was like, it was just like Harry Met Sally. I want some of what they've got, you know? And what did we have? We just had pure joy. Belly laughs, fun. We were just having fun. And so from that point, that is exactly where I set my intention. And my intention was, I wanted a business that created the party for women. And all because women seem to need that female bonding, that opportunity to whatever it is, laugh, complain, do whatever, but to have that girlfriend connection. And Darcy and I have talked about how we are so fortunate that we had really good girlfriends in our lives, because some people don't. And so basically, I set the intention in Italy, and that's about all I did. And now I took all sorts of action steps, and you just keep taking the action steps. So I'd say I set my intention, and I was open and receptive to what it might possibly be. But I didn't know what it would be, because that's not a very specific business. I want to create joy, more joy in my life and in other women's lives. Okay, not very specific, but that's what I wanted. So something would open up, and I'd take a step. I'd say, yeah, I'll try that, I'll try that, I'll try that. But aside from setting my intention and being open and receptive, I did absolutely nothing. It was, the universe was delivering. I had nothing to do with how or when it was delivered.
I had done a goddess art series about 4 or 5 years ago, and all the little goddesses sold really fast. And I got one back from somebody who bought one because I wanted a copy for myself, so I had it reproduced. And it reproduced really well. So that's where the idea for the Grateful Goddess came from. It's like, you know, we can do more with these little goddesses. They have an energy behind them that people are grabbing onto. So it really began with the art piece, you know, that was the inspiration for it. But it was all the other things we had talked about over the years and believed in that created the Grateful Goddess. So what I'm going to share with you tonight are 4 of the things that I've identified as helping me awaken my dreams throughout the years. I've always been a dabbler. From the time I graduated from college, and I had I didn't finish with 3 degrees, but I changed my major 3 times. So that gives you an idea that I'm a dabbler. I was an ad exec at the Forum, and then an exhibits and programming manager at the Children's Museum. And from there, I did art for sale and jewelry, fine art. And then I was a radio talk show host, and now the Grateful Goddess. So you can see I've kind of been all over the board. And doing all of those things really helped me to get clear. So it seems strange to have all those different things up in the air and still be able to find clarity. But I've always called myself a jack of all trades and master of none. And I started changing how I thought about that about 5 years ago. And I turned it around to, I am the master at being the jack of all trades. And that, I tell you, that shifted my perception completely. And it was okay suddenly for me to want to do all of these different things and to find joy in doing all of these different things. And somehow it would all work out, and it has under the umbrella of the Grateful Goddess. So the things I identified, that the things I got clear about, were art, writing, and creating of any sort. Constantly creating in my head, and so I have to continue to do that. That's part of the work I need to do. Using my intuitive abilities. I'm doing that now with Essence Sketches. I'm a Reiki master, and I am also going in October to become a certified past life regression hypnotist. So I'm really excited about that, because that process is really powerful if you've ever gone through that with somebody who takes you through the whole forgiveness aspects and everything. So can't wait for that. Learning and teaching. I'm constantly learning, reading, sucking up new information, and sharing that. So that's a passion of mine.